Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode 24 of Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast. And I am Garrett Weinzerl. I'm joined as always, by Kyle Ferguson.
Into always,
as always, and always. Yeah. We usually open up the show with some type of fun, off-topic anecdote from our past week, but this is a big week for Heroes, so I got nothing. I could talk about
something.
Do you? Okay.
Oh yeah, because Heroes was down, so we all got stuck playing Dota last week.
We did. We did.
I've also at the same time been watching David Attenborough's Life series, which is always delightfully British.
I've been watching a lot of Top Gear, so yeah.
So not quite the same.
Not as educational, but very British.
So I've been watching Life in the Undergrowth, which is the one about bugs, and all about how bugs evolve so fast because their lives are shorter and shorter. See where I'm going with this? This game's going to be superior because it's shorter and it evolves faster. Mainly in the point that
the length of the games. You're talking about the length of the. Yeah, because after playing some Dota 2 and then getting Heroes back quickly afterwards, my God, man, having played the two so close to one another, especially after not having had Heroes for a while, it was nice to see that stark contrast.
Well, Dota's a very different pace. You get into the game. There's actually a very large laning phase. There's no alarm that goes off telling everyone to group up and fight.
I would say I feel like it feels like there's the word rhythm comes to mind when I think about how a Dota match progresses. Whereas while we are getting some pro heroes here in the pro heroes games here and there, and so we are starting to get an established meta and play style. For the most part, it's still when you get in there and you play a game by yourself with a pickup group, there's no rhythm. It is anarchy, and it's glorious.
Right, well, and there is no best of right now either. So sure, everyone dives for that tower, and maybe one time you dive for the tower and everyone's already there, you die. Next time you don't go for it. Strategy countered, isn't it amazing?
Yeah, exactly. So
things are very up in the air there, but man, it's not so much, the time investment, the 45 minutes that you put into a Dota game that I'm talking about here. When I talk about evolution, while it will help, the meta evolve quicker, much like, you have to be with another real person to play Magic the Gathering, whereas Hearthstone, you can kind of just power through. People are going to have a higher level of expertise on these shorter games with more exposure. But really, for me, it's that you have to wait 45 minutes to ban someone or to give them a report and to just leave that person behind.
What, in Dota?
And I think being able to, update Blizzard systems every 23 minutes or so that someone's a jackass is really going to help out.
I feel like that system probably works just fine in Dota, but for you it's a very you don't have to wait as long to get your own personal satisfaction of reporting a jackass.
Right. Well, Dota has a lot of reward systems that I would like to see come into the Nexus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well. Yeah. They're
like as you get, as you give more reports and they take action against those people, you get more reports to give and you feel like you're part of this community. League of Legends has a really cool tribunal system.
You have been found guilty of jackassery.
You will now stand before your peers of other jackasses.
And you shall be banished to the Nether Zone.
Exactly.
Welcome to Smite. I'm just joking. I love Smite.
I have no idea why everyone's calling each other rats. I could have just said the worst thing on earth. I have no idea what's going on there. And then apparently we've shipped all our anger from Russia to Peru since I last played a lot of Dota. So it's a hateful random place.
I don't even understand what your reference was there.
I don't either.
Getting a lot of Peruvian players in your Dota matches? Is that what you're trying to get across?
I guess so.
Oh, okay. I still get a lot of Spanish-speaking players when I play Dota, but...
Just the anger against those people is phenomenal.
Oh, gotcha. You're talking. Okay, I get where you're going now. But anyways, now that we've had Heroes back for 3 days, 2 days, I guess. It's only Thursday. How you been liking
it? Well, of course, we're all back to square one.
Yes. That being said, though, it's more than likely permanent now. All of our progressions. So it just, I don't know. I got in there. And I'm like, I have such a... Before, I had a pretty big drive to play. It was my social game of choice. It's what all my friends were playing, so I wanted to play it. But now that I know, I'm pretty sure that it's permanent, every second I'm not playing, I'm like, I could be another level higher in Heroes right now.
Yeah, why don't I put a bit of work into that? Ooh, that unlocked. Well, that's the last time I'll ever have to deal with that. How do you feel about the talent gating then? Because I know we talked about it last week. I buried it pretty well. But, how's it going for you?
Really, it just boils down to I am pretty sure I wouldn't give a shit if I hadn't played the game before, but I have, so I hate it.
Right. Okay.
I cannot stand it, but I realize I'm also a privileged person and have had access to this game for a while, so I don't really want to talk about it that much.
Very good.
So, there's that. Enjoy that. But I'm so glad to have the game back, man. We were talking about just before the show off air. We got our Blizzard balance, like we got our money refunded, any real money that we spent. You didn't spend any, did you?
No.
Okay.
I'm a gold man.
Yeah, I know you're a free to play person. But I spent some money. I think I spent like $24 maybe total by the end of it. So I got in and I was like, should I get a bundle or something? I'm like, nah, I'm just going to grab Arthas. And then I saw Arthas is bundled with that sweet ass Frostworm skin. And I'm like, I'll take the Thorny Codpiece set. Why not? It looks pretty badass.
As you eloquently put it, and I must give all credit to you, the Sindragosa collection.
Yes, I'm Arthas and I'm wearing the latest from the Sindragosa collection.
Ah, here he is looking fabulous in those wings.
Look at him just strut his stuff down that runway. Oh, lands the Howling Blast, and that is one dead Nazebo. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful showing by Sindragosa this season. One of these days, like April Fools or something, we're just going to do a whole radio play.
I'd love it.
About Heroes of the Storm.
I'm all about
We won't tell anyone the whole episode. You'll just be like, what is this hour of shit?
April 1st.
Exactly. It's coming. It's coming. Or we won't because we never follow through on any April Fool's ideas.
Well, usually because it's the 1st, and usually about like today's the 9th, I'm going, what? The 9th? October, where are you going?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really enjoying it. I bought Arthas right away, and then I broke down and got Brightwing today because when I realized all of my pub games this week have been there's been no support at all. And some of them have been lucky enough where the opposing team also did not have a support, and that's okay, whatever. It's still weird, but at least it's balanced. But some of the games, when I get in and you don't have a support and the other team does, that sucks.
Yeah, it can feel pretty one-sided.
And it's been happening a lot to me lately, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the few extra bucks I still have left in my Blizzard balance, and I'm just going to break down, buy Brightwing. My first game with Brightwing, it was just a stellar win. We were 3 levels up on them. I'm like, yeah, I think if I'm solo queuing, I've got to do a support because I just feel like I bring so much to the game.
That's why I picked Tassadar right now. I worked up the 4,000 gold. There's actually some really cool ways to build up gold if you just power every hero to level 4 real quick. And in fact, this week they're giving double XP for those people who've been playing a lot, just back in the alpha as it goes back up to regain their status a little bit without the money.
Right.
I was able to get that 4,000, throw down Tassadar, and he's a phenomenal hero. He's great in so many situations. And he's going to be a great hero to kind of grind out the game with while I get more interesting ones.
Yeah. You actually made that decision while we were like queuing up for a game. You're like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Yeah, he's good to level up with. Click.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's a lot of heroes that I want eventually, but they're more the kind of guys that I just enjoyed winning or I just had a bad loss. I'm ready to change things up.
Exactly. Like I really like Zagara. She's probably next in line, but she's not like Arthas and Brightwing are like my go-tos, and I already have Vala. We'll talk about that a little later. And she's kind of my go-to assassin. So I've got my Trinity. I've got my warrior, my assassin, and my supportive choice. So I think I'm going for Zagara next. But, all personal preference. I really like Asmodan, man. But we'll, again, get into that in a second. Why don't we just dive into it? Let's get into this week's Heroes of the Storm news.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Can Stitches play now? Put me to the stage.
Oh, there's no noise at the end of that one. Damn. I was like waiting for the gong. I thought there was a gong at the end of one of these bumpers. Anyways,
I'll work one in for you.
It's fine. Anyways, so the alpha's back up. That's the big news this week. But we also got a massive patch along with it. All kinds of stuff coming back in. And I believe that actually the UK hero servers came back up today.
Yep.
Is it the UK or probably the EU, I'm assuming? I don't think it's exclusive to the United Kingdom. No?
Perhaps.
Not sure. Okay, whatever.
I call dumb American. It's your fault if we don't know. You're the 50% that's supposed to know world politics.
So for also to be noted, for 1 week following the game coming back up, we're going to get double experience. So any games played in matchmaking mode, doesn't matter, practice, co-op versus you're going to get double the normal amount of experience for a whole week since it's come back up. So grind out those games, do it. And also, if you pre-ordered Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, you may have remembered them saying that, hey, you'll get Vala, the Demon Hunter hero, for free, included, unlocked on your hero's account if you pre-order Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, which you and I both did, Kyle.
Right, I actually pre-ordered about 5 hours before it came out, so it wasn't exactly a
Me
pre-order,
too.
but thanks to the power of the internet, I took part in this fine deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we've all got, if you did that, you've got Vala now. They did want to mention, and I guess people must have been asking about this, that this promotion does not grant you Tech Alpha access. So if you will get Vala when you get access. Just because you pre-ordered Diablo 3 doesn't mean you get into the Tech Alpha. But I'm still hearing for people who are getting into the darn thing. So, and honestly, beta's got to be just around the corner.
I would hope so.
We're now on the live servers. I'm getting whispers from friends who are just like, "Oh, great! Now I can see when you're playing Heroes."
I knew you guys said you were playing it all the time, but now I have to watch you.
Exactly. I really, you suck, sir. I've been getting a lot of that this week. But yeah. So just be patient. I'm sure more invites are going to be going out in large waves. So, custom games and observer mode are now in the game. I actually forgot this was in. Like, I was reading the notes today. I'm like, oh, crap, I should go pop in there and try this out and just make sure. And it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. If you've ever used StarCraft 2's observer mode, it's pretty much the same thing with a lot less tools, but I'm not going to whine about that because I'm just glad I have this and it works fine. And it looks as if I can bring you in with me, Kyle. I haven't tried doing it with two people, but it when I'm by myself, it says, like, watch alone. So I'm assuming if I partied up, it would just bring you into my replay.
Oh, neat. I didn't think to try that out. I was working with the custom games, and it's a pretty good interface. Mm-hmm. Both teams get to decide which map you have, and then you have one leader that's kind of orchestrating and dropping everyone in their boxes, but you have a pretty clear distinction on who's on which side of the map.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Well,
so
go ahead.
Oh. It's good.
You're so polite today, Kyle. You usually just keep talking.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. No, but the whole system is getting a little menu heavy for me, and I'm hoping they clean it up a bit, which I'm sure they will.
Oh, you're just talking about the whole thing as overall?
Yeah, it's just a lot of, click here, then click here, and
yes.
Wait, is single player not multiplayer? The same kind of problems we had with some of the StarCraft menus.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm not sure how much of it is like I was used to the old UI, and I'm not so used to it. But some about the new one, it just seems like counterintuitive. Like I constantly accidentally launch into AI games.
Yeah.
I always forget where to go to change my damn hero. For some reason, clicking on my portrait doesn't let me click on my portrait, but clicking on my hero name up at the top center does. There's like weird little things.
And where's my daily quests, and why are my quests that I unlock over the course of the level in such a prominent place? When I reach max level, these aren't going to matter at all. I think for me, it's really that I've seen a beautiful menu recently done by Blizzard called Hearthstone. And it is very intuitive. The box opens up, and it's like, oh, this is all the options I have right here. And you have your piles, your sorting piles, your play piles.
Right, but it's also super, super simple because it has to work on a tablet.
Sure, but I feel like that's just kind of our design choices of the future.
Fair enough. Honestly, I would like a little more from my Hearthstone UI, but that's me.
Oh, you guys want Observer and all that, so you guys want some extra buttons in there.
Oh yeah, but no, I'm just talking about in the card collection. I'd like some more sorting features.
Gotcha.
That we don't currently have in there, and obviously adding more doesn't matter. This is off topic. Anywho, the Observer mode is great. It works really well. It's completely bare bones. There's nothing fancy. There's really no easy way to bring up other than the tab button, which brings up the killed deaths, and you can switch it over to show talents just like you can in a regular game. There's really nothing else fancy about it. It's not like StarCraft where you can show APM and build order, although build order wouldn't matter.
Nope, not yet, but you can
Heroes.
have observers in your custom games, which is fancy.
Yes, absolutely. And I tried talking to myself in an observer mode, and there's a observer chat line. And it's just, again, this is since I was hoping to have time before the show to jump in and try and test that out with 2 observers with you. But I'm assuming since you can observe a custom game with more than 1 observer, I don't see any reason you can't do it in a replay. So
right, and then give those people power to draw little doodles and all sorts of things like that. We've got ourselves a great system.
Yeah, bring it on. So I'm happy this is in. It's going to do wonders for esports. So probably the biggest news, obviously, are the new heroes. Anub'arak and Azmodan have both been added. I've tried them both out. I haven't purchased them, and they're not in the rotation, so I haven't gotten to play them in an actual game.
No, they're 15,000 gold.
Yeah, they're wicked expensive. And now in this post-wipe phase where I'm not sitting on my Scrooge McDuck pile of gold, I'm really feeling the hit of how expensive these guys are.
It does feel a bit shocking after that, particularly when we waited on those Scrooge McDuck piles of gold for these particular characters and then got wiped. So I know I played quite a bit with Ben, who was playing as them, because it was a pretty good cash to gold ratio being that expensive. So he just spent his Blizz bucks that he got back on getting these 2 heroes.
Yeah, they both have very fun kits. At the moment, just from trying them out, my vote goes for Azmodan. They just... when he's in a game, it feels like you're playing Diablo. Not playing as him, although playing as him, it feels great to play him. But just having him on the board, it's like, oh crap! Here comes a bunch of ghouls and fiends, and they're everywhere, and they're constantly showing up, and you're just like, I don't know. I love the flavor. I think they just absolutely hit Azmodan out of the park.
I agree completely, and I feel like this again supports the fact for the Nexus universe. And having these sort of generic ogres, knights, wizard kind of realm, when then you have demons pushing with them, or all the bugs that Anub'arak puts out, it really fills out the map quite a bit right now. And it's going to be exciting to see not only what happens with heroes who don't summon things, because they're going to be trashing people. Big ol' slams now send not maybe only a hero flying, but a whole bunch of bodies that you didn't expect pushing in there with them. So it's going to get pretty epic pretty quick. And I'm curious to know what future heroes they're going to bring around to kind of deal with some of this push power, or if we're just new to it. Yeah,
I mean, we've had, Zagara already, who spawns roaches and whatnot, and Zergling, Kerrigan spawns Zergling. So it's not like there hasn't been characters that add to the creep wave.
No, but with Azmodan, you've got your Summon Demon Warrior, which you have multiple charges of, and you can just kind of blow them all at once if you want to get a big push going. And then your full integrated, is it heroic abilities or what? The traits is your General of Hell, where you summon a demon that is attached to a certain minion. The minion can die, but he has to be summoned next to another minion, and that pushes too. And that can be cast globally. You can be upstairs, top lane, pushing as Azmodan, throwing balls of fire halfway across the map, pushing with these demon warriors, and then you see a push going down on the bottom, and you throw them a General of Hell to buff everyone on that one as well.
Yeah, and Azmodan's range is just ridiculous, and it's funny playing him. It feels like that third chapter of Diablo, because everything in there was like siege and catapults and burger, and he just feels like he belongs on that battlefield. Like I could take control of him, go to that map, and feel at home.
Yeah, the only problem is now Azmodan has to run, and in the cinematic, apparently he didn't even functionally walk, without splitting in half. So they've had to make a way for you to not only fight him in something larger than an arena where he basically stands there and attacks from a single place, to now having a mount-up form where he gallops, and it's a bit wacky.
Oh, really? I thought they did a bang-up job on his running animation. I actually really like it.
I like they lit up the feet so you clearly know that he's mounted instead of just, moving faster. With Zagara, with Anub'arak, they both have bug wings that come out and give them a lift, so you immediately know when they're flying. Asmodan, though, it looks a little weird to me, and I've got two options that I would have preferred. One, he's on a litter, which I think would have been great. Like, just hedonism bot from Futurama, just like, flying along the ground. Because he is the Lord of Sin, after all, with those pierced nipples. Or he turns into a giant flying holographic face and talks about the Nephilim as he wanders through.
Both of those would be a lot more amusing, I will give you that, but I'm perfectly okay with how they've handled it.
There was a glitch or a bug in the first day that they put the alpha back up.
Yeah, it was a big bug. His name's Anub'arak, and he's a new hero.
No, it was an Asmodan bug, and it was hilariously overpowered. Apparently, his level 20 trait where he can increase his mount speed, they added an extra 0 in there somewhere, and he was going maximum speed.
Oh, wow.
2,000% speed.
That's
he was
ridiculous.
Zooming. And it was hilarious to be playing with someone like Ben who, is always analyzing things from the artist's and balance perspective. And he's like, no, this can't be right. No, the animation doesn't look right. This can't be right. And just like, I'm like, Ben, it's okay. Like, this is clearly a glitch. He's like, no, this can't be. There was a part where we were pushed in the front and he ran from behind through the middle of our entire team to get back in front of the core. That's how fast he was going.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. Well, good to know that that's fixed.
Yep, got fixed in a quick little hot patch.
Good to know. His Q ability, by the way, the Globe of Annihilation, just ridiculous range on that thing.
Yeah, and it's
like every time I think I'm out of the shit and I'm like, oh, made it out of that one with my life. Oh crap, I'm dead, because that thing just comes out of nowhere.
It's one of those abilities that is very reminiscent of others you'll see in MOBAs. So there's a lot of people who buying Asmodan immediately and knowing that he had that ability are just absolutely sick pros with it.
You're just slaughtering, man.
Yeah, you'll be running away. You'll be behind walls, no sight given in some cases, and they'll estimate, which you do in a lot of different MOBAs, and hit you.
Yeah,
and that'll be a solid 15% of your health sometime, and that's enough to kill you.
I was almost dead with I was playing Arthas, ran back to the fountain. It was still on cooldown. I'm like, well, I'm behind the wall. I'm safe. So I started hearthing next to the fountain, and one of those globes just came down right on top of me and totally flattened me.
You gotta be impressed, though. Good job.
Yeah, good thing. Anytime I see Asmodan now, though, man, I will not stop moving until I'm somewhere safe.
Which is fine, as long as we don't have too many heroes that are changing the map by their very presence, like Stitches. You see that guy, sometimes you're feeling kind of lazy. You see him get picked on the enemy team. You're like, oh, I didn't want to work this hard this game. I didn't want to be thinking every bush was about to kill me. So it's just something to be aware of, and we'll get used to it. Our abilities, though, I don't think I've ever had a hero where I've said, but I need both of these. Like, there's something that'd be cool, sure, like Arthas, Ghouls, and Sindragosa. Like, why not? Let's destroy the world. But it's a pretty balanced choice. But this one is you have to choose between summoning lots of grunts or summoning a black pool, which makes all your pushing forces stronger. It's like, but what if I could summon the grunts and then buff them? That'd be even better.
Oh, that would be sweet.
But yeah, sadly, you must choose.
Yeah, it's... I like that. I think it's a good choice, and I understand why it's there. What about Anub'arak, man? Have you played around with him at all?
Only in try mode, and this was something that Ben abandoned pretty quickly, it seems. So I didn't quite get to hammer him for, you should do this, or what are you doing there? What's that? But he's got some really cool things going on with his Scarab hosts, where every time he uses an ability, you spawn a little Scarab to push along with you.
Yeah, I like that. His burrow charge is enough to sell me on him. It is such a fun ability. Mobility is, it's hard to screw up mobility spells and make them unfun.
Yeah. Teleport is as basic as you can come, and it is a sweet spell.
Right, but I don't care. I understand it. I realize that it's easy to make movement abilities fun. It's still fun. Burrow Charge is a supremely fun ability to use. Not to mention good, because you can go under stuff and escape from terrible, terrible scenarios that you have no right surviving.
I was honestly surprised with the way they worked the spell, which works well into their philosophy, which seems to be skill shots, which I respect. It's going to make the game more impressive when cool stuff is pulled off. So when you're doing the charge, it's not so much that you just select a point out in front of you. He walks within range of that and then dives under and pops up at the point. You actually, from your body, shoot out an arrow direction, and then you go to that maximum unless you press the button again to pop up.
Oh, I didn't know you could hit it again and kind of cancel your trip.
No, so you don't have to back up and gauge it for maximum range. You can interrupt it.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, sweet. Yeah, that is kind of in line with what they've already been doing. A lot of there's so many skill shots in this damn game.
His Hardened Carapace is a little weird, though. This is his W ability, and he gains a shield. And that's it. He gains 150 points of health.
But he also spawns a beetle.
And that's what makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then you can augment it, and you can even do a really cool one where whenever you use the shield, all of your beetles get shields. And then on top of that, you can get this really sweet ability later on, which is whenever a beetle gets a kill, which there's no last hitting. So as long as he was participating in the kill of anything, any lane minion, it then upgrades to the next level and gets larger. So as you push a lane, you can just be spawning these huge
I am the Beetle King!
Beetles. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Web Blast turned out to be a combination of what we were wondering. It is both on a timer and can be attacked to break your buddy out of it sooner.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I love it, by the way. It is disorienting at the moment because it makes your health bar disappear. So my first game where I fought against an Anub'arak and I got web blasted, I was so confused. I didn't notice the cocoon until about the half second before it ended, and then I just died. And I'm like, well, what killed me? Where did my character go?
It feels like you just disappear.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't know what I feel like if it's your character, it should keep the darn health bar.
Well,
because you can't attack yourself. I realize that it makes sense for everyone else for the health bar to disappear and become the health bar of the cocoon because it is now attackable. But for you, the player who just got web blasted, you can't do jack about it. So I would rather my yellow health bar still be shown because, man, I exactly like you said, I was like, I feel like my hero just disappeared. Where'd I go?
Right, and that happens with Zagara's ult as well. But there is a giant worm twisting around itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The maw I have no issue with because it's visually very imposing, and you notice that the web blast is very small. A lot of times it makes you significantly smaller than you were, and it's just a very neutral color. So,
that's true. It'd be cool to see in the future if they actually customize the web blasts. That's a lot of work, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I think it's fine. Just for if you are on the receiving end of this, I'd like to keep my colored health bar because in the heat of a fight, man, I get so confused when this happens to me.
Yeah, his level 20 augmentation for it's really cool though, where you can not only stun them, keep them locked up in the webs, but you can then choose to stand there and channel it and leave them all locked up forever. For the duration of the spell anyway, sitting there weaving more webs out.
That's awesome. I have not seen this in practice yet. So both these heroes have like a channel thing that they can just keep doing to someone because Azmodan has All Shall Burn, which is just channels a beam of incredible DPS, by the way.
It is surprising. And if we're diving back on Azmodan for a moment, he has a surprising amount of health as well.
Yeah, I mean, they both... I don't know. I've caught Azmodan out before, and I've had very little trouble dispatching him.
Well, he has no escape.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people trying to run away and then summoning demons behind them, hoping, you're going to mount up, you get whacked, you get knocked off. But you have to stop. It isn't like some spells like Shield Heals where you can do it mid-run. He has to, switch, turn around, stare at the thing he's summoning, and then get moving again right after. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you catch him, even with his 6,000 health at level 20, And if you're looking at someone like, even a Tassar, he's sitting around 4,000 health. So I was expecting a little more specialist ranged. And a Diablo at level 20, I mean, you're up to maybe 8,000, 10,000 if you spect crazy for just health.
Wow. He's ready to go, like, take on a raid and wow.
He is a big fat guy. I mean, clearly he's got some mass to him. So, and he can't run away like we said, so.
Right. So, well, cool. I'm enjoying both of these guys quite a bit. I'm excited for them to not cost 15,000 gold anymore, so I can actually purchase them and play them.
Sure. And we heard, 2 weeks on that?
I think that's what they said. I don't remember now. I'd have to go back and reread last week's show notes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said 2 weeks is when the price will go down to whatever its sort of difficulty, weird Blizzard-based gold metric is. And then every 4 to 6 weeks, we'll get a new hero, so we complete the cycle again.
Okay. All right. Bring it on. There were some changes to the game as a whole. Some mini-map icons have been changed. So the underground grave golem on the Haunted Mines and the neutral garden terrors on the Garden of Terror no longer blink when they're in combat, which I think is great. It's a huge deal. I think having to actually visually scout these areas adds another level of skill to this game, and I am all for it.
The grave golem wasn't such a big deal. It's pretty easy since both entrances to the bottom mines are in the middle of the lane, no less. So, any pushing creep walking by is going to see someone going in or going out. The change to Garden of Terror, though, is really interesting because before everyone was too scared to do it because you just stayed in lane and got XP. Nobody really wanted to go wail on something for no XP for several minutes. And if they did, they immediately announced to everyone that they were up to it. So I really like it there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you have to, send someone out, hey, go check this area. I think they're here.
It adds more value to those, scouting drones or sensor drones that are laying around. Yeah, and characters like Abathur.
Absolutely. It's also this week I've been paying really close attention to the mini map, and if I see one mercenary camp go down, I'm making educated assumptions as to which camp they're going to next, and I feel like I've gotten pretty good at it. I'll just be like, they're here, let's go, let's jump them. But yeah, bring it on. Also,
speaking of mercenary camps.
Yeah, they got changed up a little bit. The Knight mercenary camp, the healer mercenary, no longer heals other mercenaries or minions, and now casts a damaging arcane bolt on enemies instead. I completely read over this. This is my first time reading this.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
this week, I have still been going straight for the healer when I start fighting knights.
It is worth it because those bolts hurt. I was giggly when I first saw it because it looks like arcane bolts from WoW. I couldn't think of the word at the time, so I said, oh my goodness, magic missiles. But this guy in the back, they made him larger too, so he stands out, and you might get pummeled a little bit by this guy. So it's still worth taking him out early, but I think you can focus on stopping the wave rather than just diving straight for him.
Yeah, which was always hard with the knights because the healers or the casters are always naturally behind everyone else because they're a ranged unit. So before, when they did heal everyone else, you had to really get in the middle of it to take them out first, or otherwise you were going to be fighting a much longer fight. So
and they were small.
Yes, and they were small, hard to see, although it did differentiate them from the knights, which I kind of liked, actually. But this is fine. I don't really see an issue with this. Protective shield also got a change. The shield value was changed from 300 plus 30 per level to 185. Significant cut down there, but a little bit of per level increase, plus 35 per level.
Yeah, so not quite. Well, it's certainly a nerf when you can first get it. But at higher levels, it's going to be powerful again.
Right.
This is your level 20, storm power that is divided among many heroes that gives a shield an area. And I particularly like taking it on Diablo. Because it can't contribute. You're just picking people up, throwing them around. If you get the ability where you can, stun everyone across the map, your level 20 augmentation, your only choice is that it goes off when you die. That's not a good investment. And since you're Diablo and your whole trait is about gaining souls and coming back immediately, again, there's no resurgence of the storm to take. So your choices are kind of staring right at protective shields.
Yeah. I like Protective Shield also. It
sounds cool. It's jarring. It's just, like just rubbing it plastic together or doing the big old woo, woo, like you would do to make thunder with a metal board. No, never enjoyed that. Never grabbed those tubes and went.
Just laughing because you're a nerd.
Fair enough.
Well, you want to go down your Kyle Ferguson patented truncated version of buff, nerfs, and complete overhauls?
Yep.
Of who got buffed, who got nerfed, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, and these, of course, as always, are heavily simplified for the purposes of this show. You can, check the actual show notes on our website or the official site itself.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to previous episodes of Into the Nexus, anytime there's been a patch in the alpha, there have been so many heroes changed in so many different ways. It would be a 4-hour show if we went hero by hero and discuss the changes. So what Kyle does is he kind of boils it down to layman's terms: who got buffed, who got nerfed, and who's very different from the way they used to be. So,
or if you want a 4-hour show, patreon.com.
I'm not sure that's one of our stretch goals, and I'm not sure I ever want it to be.
Anywho, our only buff this week was to Diablo, surprisingly.
Which I'm sure you're quite happy about.
Yeah, they're all, pretty tactical. It's a lot of, lightning breath lasts a shorter amount of time, but does more damage and equaling about the same damage over that course of time. Your choices to reduce your souls for resurrection, your trait, has been reduced. As well as you got a little bit of nerf on Endless Death, which is your maximum soul count being increased. It used to go up to 200 from 100. Now it just goes to 150 instead of 200.
Okay, so and you need 100 to come back, right?
It's 75, actually.
75. Okay, so I'm trying to. Yeah.
So you've got two. If you're full up, you've got 2 resurrections on you, and that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's it. That's fine. You bank 2 resurrections. What's bad about that?
Well, for me, my favorite build was, and this was one that was heavily dependent on the map and how the game was going, was to go, you get more health and more health regeneration per soul, and then get as many souls as possible. So you're just a huge pile of health by the end. But this involves you not dying and taking advantage of one of his major traits. So I'm glad they're bringing it in line, making sure you're focusing on actually getting souls for the purposes of resurrection, and then using your other abilities to do the damage you need, with Overpower getting a buff. And this was your slam, do some damage to guys, move them around a bit.
Okay. I'm all for that. Let's bring it on. I'm surprised you didn't buy Diablo.
He was not 4,000. I think he was up at 10,000.
Oh, really? Okay.
But Diablo is one that I really like playing by myself, and I feel like I contribute a lot because of the tactical decisions of me as a player. When I'm in a group with random people, I become a pinger, a very kind pinger, I would like to say. Just one ping suggesting where she go, maybe calling the shots, and Diablo's a great initiator in those cases and really targets down people and says, this is the guy that we need to get because I grabbed him and pushed it all into you. Whereas Tassadar, when I play with friends, I want to show off my skills. I want to be like, well, this is the kind of thing I'm good at. Everyone sit back and enjoy.
Yeah. I was playing, I sat in on a game as the 5th on D-Day's team, who are now sponsored, by the way. Congratulations. I think we congratulated him already. If I didn't,
we can
congratulations.
Do it again.
And who did we play against? We played against ZP's team. We got matched up against them. And I'm like, oh, God, trial by fire. I just want to have a fun game. And here we are in a pre-made.
It's too much work now.
We ended up winning, so I was very happy about that. So I was like, well, these guys, they all practice together. I guess I better bring my A game. So I played Arthas. And I just remember landing this one really clutch Howling Blast, and everyone in the thing going, oh, damn, Garrett, that was pretty good. And I just go, no. I am good at one thing in this entire game, and that was it. That's all I've got.
I'm okay with that, dude. Howling Blast is incredible, and you're getting good at those shots.
Yeah. Oh, man. This past week has been the first time I've really taken the talent where it freezes everything along the path. Because I used to think that was like, if you're bad at landing this is awesome. But no, I was totally wrong. No, it just means you can freeze the whole freaking team. You just line them all up and you just hit them. It's wonderful.
It's a lot of fun. My problem is, though, that if I'm really excited about playing Arthas for a while and I power through a bunch of games, I really suck for that first couple minutes on my second game. Because in the last game, I had that sweet ability. I was freezing people, and now I've forgotten how to use it. I'm passing it at maximum range again.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. Like this past week, I'm like, oh man, it's like I can just have a mini Sindragosa.
Yeah, no, it's really powerful. I feel like, other than saying, oh, well, you're a nerd for taking because you can't target, like that's a dumb argument. I agree. The one thing you can say against it, though, is sometimes you might not want to grab that many people because most people are going to back up, leaving the other people exposed.
Right, which is very true. I don't think I took it in that specific game, but in a lot of my pub Arthas games, I was just like, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to grab this and just freeze as many people as I can.
It's a sweet ability, and it looks great.
Oh, yeah. They did a bang-up job. Arthas got a little bit of a nerf this week. His rune tap is down 2% on how much it heals, but it's minor.
Right. I mean, 4% of your maximum health every time you do 3 attacks. And this is a counter that follows you. You don't have to attack the same guy 3 times. You can just keep wailing and get a rune tap for yourself. So it's very powerful. I feel like this is a choice so that people don't take rune tap and then they can live forever. They skip all the other healing talents for damage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it is minor. I noticed it a bit this week in those games where there was no support. It was kind of painful, but I'll get by. It's fine. Arthas is really strong. I can see why they felt they may need to tone him back a bit.
I'm a big fan of Sindragosa, so I usually take rune tap, even though I really like some of the talents in that bracket, just to have that healing. Otherwise, if I'm going for, my Frostmourne build, which needs the slot rune tap takes, you have to get the ghouls to heal yourself.
Absolutely. And even if we have a good support, depending on what the composition of the other team is, if they are really high damage, I still go for army just to have the extra healing and to take the load off our support.
Next on the nerf list is Lili, which is really strange.
Why is it really strange?
Because I don't think Lili's very strong right now. But they've made it so that her healing brew no longer provides mana if your health is full.
Yeah. I have such a low opinion of Lili that I'm not sure I can look at this objectively.
Fair enough.
I really disliked everything about the hero.
I'm not very interested by her myself, but it's interesting that they would take away this ability from a healer when she already brings so, little variety to some characters, and providing mana is an amazing service.
Yes.
Malfurion is the one guy I wish could just have strapped to my back as Diablo 24/7.
Yeah. It's
Mal backpack.
Captain Mal.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. Malfurion did end up in our nerf pile, though. Trident lost some health.
Oh, what a shame.
Yep. Rhaegar, too, ended up in there, which is why I'm talking about this is weird that we're seeing a lot of healers nerfed. This is Lightning Shield, and we're, again, getting balanced out again when you first talent into it so that the Lightning Shield has the Earth Shield talent, giving it an actual shield. It's a little shocking to think when you cast Lightning Shield on someone at low level, there is no actual shielding, healing, protective element to it. You have to spec it to make it that. And they've made it a little weaker in the early levels.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, 200 to 100. It's cut in half, sir. Again, getting the higher per level, though.
Exactly. So maybe evening out in future levels, but it's going to take a bit.
Right.
Sonya next, another nerf. Seismic Slam got reduced by talent choices. So the Seismic Slam build that is basically the most popular takes a 20% damage decrease.
Yeah, but have you been on the receiving end of that build?
It hurts.
It needed something.
It's surprising.
Let's be honest. It hurt so bad.
Well, it was like, Frostmourne, when you use that trait, it's powerful. You'll slam a guy, and if you're talented into it, it can do about 500, 600 damage. But you can't chain it like you can with Sonya's.
Oh, you're talking about Frostmourne Hungers, the buff for Arthas. Yeah. I really feel like looking at a lot of these nerfs, maybe not so much Lili, but there's really no strategy to playing Lili, that they're targeting required builds, things that people think are required builds. Much like the last nerf took away hover mode for Hammer so early on in the game, because that's what everyone was taking every game without even thinking. I feel like, same thing. At least me personally, every time I played Rhaegar, I went for the Shield Talon. Every time I played Sonya, I went for the Seismic Slam build. Every time I played Arthas, and still pretty much every time I play Arthas, I go for Rune Tap. So I think they're just trying to make unorthodox builds a little more attractive.
Our last nerf was on Vala, and this was basically 10 seconds added to the cooldown on Strafe, so it can't be used as often. And then a bit of balance, and they're ultimately reducing her maximum attack speed.
Oh, okay. I'm just reading it right. Yeah, all right. Just she's still so popular, and that Ranker build is still, I find, the most used. Every time I'm playing with a Vala, as Vala myself, or against one, and I'm looking at their builds, that's what I'm seeing.
I love having a Vala on my team.
Yeah. And I feel like I just want to stem off, hate mail. The Lily comment, I'm just joking, people. It's a running gag because I personally cannot stand playing Lily or playing against the Lily. Yes, I realize there's obviously strategy to playing it, and she can be played well. I'm just kidding, people. Running gags. Running gags. Some people take the things I say too seriously.
Your recent track record validates your statements.
Oh, yeah. Well, some of them are just absolute trolls who are just trying to, piss me off. And it works. I
shouldn't advertise that. It doesn't take much.
I feed the trolls, man. I feed them. And I'm bad about it. I'm getting better. I'm just using that block button a lot more liberally. Second I seem just like, not going to bite. I'm just blocking you. Thanks. Good night.
Dota experience.
Yeah. That actually, playing Dota the past week made me realize that. I'm like, why do I treat my Twitter feed any different than I do a game of Dota or Heroes? If someone's an ass, I just block them.
Are you on my friends list? Well, we don't really have that on Twitter, but I remember your name well enough to know you're okay on my book.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. There's a difference between constructive criticism and trolling.
Yeah.
Yep. So, anywho's, upward.
Our only overhaul was Nova, which is a doozy.
Yeah, I'm looking at her right now. It's insane. She still has all the same abilities, but everything has been tweaked. Her basic attacks per second's been decreased, but the damage is up. But she has a new talent, 2 new talents at level 7. One of the chamber basic attacks, the next basic attack deals an additional 50% damage after using the ability, or hot shots. Nova now attacks 3 times slower, but deals 330% damage per basic attack.
That's so cool. And this is really what this build has become about.
Okay, yeah. I actually like that a lot because it plays to the sniper flavor.
Right, and that's what they did here. And that's why it's such a wide change, but you can kind of break it down to a single focus of they reduced her basic attack from 1.25 seconds to 1 second, which is a pretty big increase in attack speed. So then you think about that, and they did it to all her abilities. Their snipe down from 12 seconds to 10 seconds.
It also
what
does
you've got
more
here
damage.
is someone who is just emerging from the bushes, from the cloak, immediately snipe, pinning shot, auto attack, and disappearing again. And then they're able to come back and do it that much quicker while still saying about the same level of DPS. Right now, it seems a bit strong because it's shocking to have a Nova repeatedly, every time she breaks her cloak, every 10 seconds, sniping you.
Yeah, it's funny because, again, and personal opinions, people. I can't stand Lily, and I just don't like Lily. Whereas I cannot stand playing against this type of Nova, but I like that it exists.
Sure.
I get what they're going for. I'm pretty sure I like it, and Nova needs something, big time.
She needed some help, most certainly. And really the main thing about it was Zeratul doing a lot of damage as well. He has a teleport. He can blink forward. Nova, you catch her off guard, you catch her in anything, she's stuck there. And if you're not an absolute pro at holo decoy and tricking people into think that, you're not running away, in fact, then you're going to do pretty poorly. So this is pretty cool. They added some really cool talent choices to her cloaking ability that add additional flavor to, moving faster and getting your basic abilities cooled down quicker. So I'm excited to see how this goes. Nova is really the only power mage we have in the game right now. And if you just, took all the abilities and just placed them on some sorceress from Warcraft 3, you got invisibility, you got, fireball, pyroblast, and, magic missiles for her, tracking shots as an ultimate.
Yeah, I remember sitting down and reading this when the patch notes went live, and obviously I don't own Nova yet, but she's up there now. I'm very interested in unlocking her and playing her more regularly now. I really enjoyed her in the early days when I first got Tech Alpha access, and then I kind of petered off. But I don't know. I really like these changes. Again, sucks to be on the receiving end of a really good Nova right now. You have to be on top of your game. You have to be ready to escape and at any moment and blow any defensive cooldown you have.
Well, and just you can see him coming, which is one of the great things that adds a skill to this game, is you can see the little predator movement moving towards you. So just being aware gives you so much counter to a Nova that you just don't have in other games where heroes are just straight up invisible. One of the coolest things they added to her Hollow Decoy is level 16, a double fake talent. And whenever you cast Hollow Decoy, it creates an additional Hollow Decoy where you're standing. And that standing one has movement AI. Wow. So you can pretend to have broken your cloak and cast Decoy while you're running away.
Dude, that is so dope. I might buy Nova tonight. She sounds so much fun now.
It's sweet. You're still squishy, man. There is Kerrigan. There's quite a few heroes where I can be okay on the losing side. Well, at least I'm throwing out some Psy Storms. I'm having a decent time. But Nova's one of those where you're losing and people are on top of you. It's just no fun.
Yeah. 16 where double fake is such a loaded talent choice, though. There's so many. Blood for Blood's there.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I love Blood.
So you really don't have enough health to make that worth it.
It can make a big difference.
It does a lot of damage. I feel like it's more powerful on people like Kerrigan when you're in the middle of fights. But any healing really is just incredible.
Yeah. Anywho's, go check it out. Give Nova a try. Moving on. Let's talk about BlizzCon, sir, because it's right around the corner.
It is.
It is. And now we know a little more.
The band. Oh, no, never mind.
What was that? Yeah. No, we'll know the band the day before. They're like, oh, by the way, AC/DC's tour bus broke down outside. And we were like, hey, guys, we got a thing tomorrow. You want to play? Sure. Okay. Hey, someone put out a press release. I have no idea who the band's going to be this year. Who the hell do you think who would they get? They've already had Ozzy.
My guess is they just work day and night trying to get people out of retirement.
Retirement?
Well, bands that aren't together so they can have reunion shows at BlizzCon. Because, look at their track record. Look at the music styles that the main creators at Blizzard are into. They're probably trying to get some, big metal group to come in.
Most of the big metal groups I'm thinking of are still together and play shows fairly often.
True enough.
I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Get those sweet DirecTV bucks from people who don't care about the games. And I really need to see the reunion tour.
It was I'm about to say, the last few years have been bands that have been together. Foo Fighters weren't broken up. Blink-182 weren't broken up. Tenacious D weren't broken up.
That was the only one I would have gone to, and I missed that year.
Tenacious D. Oh, it was great. I was so excited for that. I love Tenacious D. Anyways, the full schedule for BlizzCon is out. There's a couple heroes panels, I believe.
Along with a big mystery black space in Saturday.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, it seems light, but yeah, there's some mystery stuff. So we'll see what happens. But we got some more information on the exhibition tournament that will be going on. This will be very similar to last year's Hearthstone tournament, where there was no cash prize up for money. It was really just kind of bragging rights and a chance to show off the game in a competitive environment. So we know now that The following organizations are sending teams. We're getting Cloud9, Evil Geniuses, Fnatic, and Team Liquid are all sending... they wrote here, sending their heroes teams to do battle. And I'm like, I wasn't aware any of these guys had heroes teams.
Right, or at least not official ones. I mean, we have Idra LZ Gamer playing on Snowflake.
Yeah, exactly. That's not these teams that we're aware of. I haven't been able to find official rosters. There's a lot of speculation over on TeamLiquid.net right now about who's on the Team Liquid roster.
Actually, Fnatic posted today on Twitter their lineup, and it involves Sase and Naniwa.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear about Sase. I'm now not rooting for them because of the other guy.
Interesting, right?
That's going to be really bad when one of your teammates just gets up and quits playing because he had a bad day.
Yeah, someone's got a little cut on their finger, doesn't feel like clicking.
I feel like we just slid into the last few episodes of StarCast.
I know. He's an exhausting figure to us. If you didn't listen to StarCast, the StarCraft podcast, Naniwa is an old StarCraft player, well known for his
horrible professional manner.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. I was going to say tantrums.
That's actually a better way of putting it. Yeah, he's like a child. So
interesting to know or to think about Evil Geniuses having a team with Idra being kicked off the StarCraft team, but now being such a figure in Heroes of the Storm, if he'll be back there.
Could see. I mean, it's not like he's... I feel like every now and then, if you follow the Heroes Reddit, an Idra thing will show up. Like, I played against Idra and he was here. Or I guess you can't. There's no all chat, but he's, for the most part, been laying low. You haven't heard any crazy Idra stories as of late. So,
well, I have seen some rather stereotypical quotes screen captured from games with him.
Well, that's what I meant. They pop up on Reddit every now and then. But
there's been nothing more dramatic than that. Sure.
Yeah, it's been nothing like super dramatic. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was always like fine with Idra's demeanor because, like, to me, I was just like, well, I get really angry when shit goes wrong in video games, and I have yelled at my friends. I've tried very hard not to do that, but it happens.
Well, yeah, he was an emotional player who was easily overcome by frustration, whereas Naniwa gave into it full and quit games.
Right, Naniwa was just...
he would disappoint us all by losing the next of the, best of 5, but at least he's there trying.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I still felt totally fine, and I would always root for Idra if he was playing, but Naniwa, man, I was just like, man, it just feels bad to like watch you do your thing, because you just disappoint everyone.
Yeah. Who knows? The team atmosphere could change that and take some pressure off them in particular. I'm sure when the pressure comes back around to them as a problem on the team, that's its own pile of worms.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's cleaned up his act. Maybe he's not nearly as stressed out playing Heroes of the Storm. We're not him.
Either way, Team Liquid is just going to be all nice guys. That's how it always is.
That's how it always is. Team Liquid just full of the most professional, friendly dudes in professional gaming.
Exactly. They're not guys you're going to like just scream your lungs out for, break your vocals, but you're definitely, all right, yeah. Good show, everybody. Well done.
You clearly have never watched me watch Teja play a StarCraft game live, because I will scream my lungs out for a Teja game, sir. Thank you very much. You mind your tongue.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
Anywho, I'm excited for this. I don't know, like, because obviously we're not familiar with a lot of these teams. We don't know how long they've been practicing. We don't know the quality of their play.
Well, Cloud9's just interesting because of their Dota presence.
Oh, I didn't even consider that. You're right.
So that'll be real interesting. Who is on the roster? Is it its own team? This information may be floating around somewhere if they've been starting a Heroes team recently. But if we see Dota, known professionals playing this game at BlizzCon, that could bring a lot of people over and be real cool.
It could. There's a lot of crossover, too, in the fan base between StarCraft 2 and Dota 2.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to see. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I'm not really sure what to expect. Last year's Hearthstone exhibition had some really great matches, and it had some real stinkers.
Well, we're still having a BlizzCon brawl, which is more like what they did with Hearthstone last year. And this is your top YouTube personalities, as they put it.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, I'll be watching the crap out of them. I'm looking at the schedule and I'm just like, I care about all of the esports this year. Like, I'm just like, and there's a ton of it going on. I'm going to be hard pressed to catch it all. I feel like when I get home from BlizzCon, I'm just going to spend the next 4 days watching all of the esports I missed.
Well, have you seen the really cool arena they're putting together for StarCraft?
What are you talking about?
If you check out the map, like there is a full arena that you go down a hallway and unlock into. It's in its own special area outside the main stage or any other stage now.
Like a physical location at BlizzCon?
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you can actually get tickets for the WCS finals if you don't have a BlizzCon ticket.
Exactly.
Which was something we talked about on StarCast because they sent out those surveys, remember? And they were asking like how interested would you be in just being able to attend the esports portion of a BlizzCon? And we were like, well, that's awesome, but how are you going to do it? Because the way BlizzCon's currently laid out, it's in the convention. But obviously, I feel like when you have a convention with 24,000 attendants, you hire a couple of planners that know their stuff.
No, this is part of the Laud and Terrace balcony section. And there is a whole arena actually part of the Anaheim Convention Center that a hallway will connect to in the convention itself, and then you can get into as well from the outside.
Oh, that's great. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, man, I can't wait. I'm so sad you're not coming.
Those tickets are $25.
Oh, you can't beat that.
No, not compared to a full BlizzCon pass, certainly. And they're still available. I'm looking at them right now online.
Yes, and especially if you're local, man, I'll just drive down there for the afternoon, hang out, watch some games.
I'm really sad I'm missing it, too. I underestimated the drive, which is 17 hours, apparently.
Yes.
From up in Seattle. It's a bit shocking how long California is.
Yeah. Have you
looked then up? I moved this year. You know,
Yeah.
I made my financial decisions, and I'm sticking with them.
Gotcha. In chat room, no. If you already have BlizzCon tickets, you do not have to buy tickets to WCS. If you have a BlizzCon ticket, you're good for everything. It's just if you wanted to go watch the StarCraft WCS finals and you didn't have a BlizzCon ticket, Blizzard was giving folks an option. So hopefully that clears that up.
Which is perfect because there's no reason why you shouldn't fill it with the best fans you can. It's going to be completely insane. I may even go as far as off the hook to have true fans there that don't care about any other game, are just there for StarCraft, and they're going to be the ones going the most wild.
Right, exactly. So, moving on. I'm excited for that. Got a bunch of new skins in the game. Not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it because it's very visual. But I will say that Skullther is, or Skeletor.
Skeletor, yep.
Skeletor is amazing.
Yeah, for some reason, someone had the idea to put a big skull on and a brain on his back, and it looks sweet, and it's throbbing, and it is
so dope.
It is classic Dungeons and Dragons madness. And then they redid Infested Tychus, allowing the infestation to move on to his Odin as well as his
Thor.
Laser Drill.
He has an infested Thor and an infested drill now, and it's so dope looking. Looks dope as shit. I love it. Good job, Blizzard.
And way to increase the value of the skin. I'm excited to some of those that we criticized earlier coming back in this level of force.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's really adds a lot to the game. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot.
Like if they redid the Prince Arthas version of the skin to like maybe summon knights instead of ghouls, that stuff's cool.
I still really want that skin back. I just want it cheap. Like make it $2.
Well, that's something we haven't talked about is they're very much pushing the bundles because I was looking at getting Mecha Tassadar, and that's $15 for that skin.
Ooh.
Which is what you can get a hero and the skin if it's bundled together.
Yeah. Well, I think my Arthas one was like 11, and I got Arthas
so even cheaper.
And the skin, which was awesome. Anyways, you watched the Versusphere North American Invitational Finals.
Yeah.
Casted by Mr. Caldor. There's so much StarCraft connections in tonight's episode. We apologize for having mini StarCast here, but it happens.
Or you're welcome if that's what you're into.
Some of you have been tweeting at us, and apparently that's what you want. So hopefully you enjoyed it. To those of you who are less interested, hopefully you enjoyed the peek into the window of esports that you missed over the past few years. Anywho, how was it? I haven't had a chance to watch this yet.
Good, professionally done. He took a lot of great criticisms, and in his newer cast, he takes several points to slow down. Like when everyone hits 10, he pauses the game and goes to the tab screen and explains everything that everyone picked. It's a really great job. But if you are a fan of Abathur, or looking forward to the game and wanting to learn how to play him, the Symbiote Abathur player is pretty darn good, and Kaldor is super into watching the strategy of it, and he explains why Abathur is where he is throughout the duration of these matches. So, without being able to go back and forth on, how the match was and the various things like that, if you're a fan of Abathur, go for it. There's some cool strategy that is, of course, always talked about with the build tier 2, Abathur with Vala, Arthas, Rhaegar, and Tyrael. That's pretty much what you want. Your custom group. You have a whole bunch of tanks to sit on top of, and then a Vala to replicate, or an Arthas to replicate to get an extra stun in, or a Rhaegar to replicate to give an extra bloodlust. And then the other team, this was Team Snowflake, the one we were talking about with Idra at LZ Gamer. They were doing their Tychus, Brightwing, Stitches, and then LZ Gamer switching over to Chen, which was a very different choice, but it was a very heavy push build. So just an interesting way to catch up on some strategies that you're not particularly going to see in something like Brawling with the Devs, which happened this past week, or one of the official released matches from Blizzard.
Right, yeah. Obviously, you get just unofficial teams together brawling it out. You're going to see some real interesting, dirty tricks.
And this is still pre-last patch, so you're not going to see any Asmodan, sadly, any they released two Anub'arak. Thank you.
And you're also not going to see any broken ass Novas.
No, not yet. Next season.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Nova this week, man. I want to try her. Maybe after this show. Anywho, well, that's great. We've got a link to the VOD, by the way, for those of you who are, if you haven't been able to track it down, go to amove.tv/ITN and find the post for episode 24. And down at the bottom, there'll be a link to the show notes, and it's right there under the section about Snowflake versus Symbiote. Real quick before we move on to strategy, just want to thank those of you who are backing us over on patreon.com/ITN and supporting the show. We really appreciate it. We're up to 36 patrons now, pledging over $349 a month to help us make this show. We really appreciate it, guys. So thank you very much, and let's talk some strategies.
Choose a talent.
Choose a talent.
Talent? That seems generous.
I have a PhD in PvP.
I don't want to say what I have a PhD in.
Ooh, player hating degree?
So I would have a PhD in PhD?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a very prestigious role.
I will.
And it gets you mad money, yo.
I will take it.
From Compton University.
Wait, what?
Compton University. Straight out Compton.
I'm going to go listen to the Chronic after this. Thank you. You wanted to talk about timings.
Yes, so this is a mystery that we have tried to talk about a little bit in the past, but now we finally
didn't have hard numbers.
Someone.
Yeah, someone's done the work for us.
Yeah, so this is a thank you out to, your name is not pronounceable, NZ Jor on Twitter, who asked the question, and then Mash V, who took the time to answer the question off his own website. So thank you, Mash V, for that. And this is the timings that various events or spawnings happen across the maps.
Yeah.
So it's important to know that there is no level 1 jungling in this game at the moment.
Well, you mean like compared to Dota?
Right. Someone calls jungle. Someone's going to wander in the woods, immediately start farming that up. At the moment, no hero can really take that role. And also, the first easy and hard mercs don't spawn until 40 seconds in. So you might as well be taking part in the lane by that point.
Okay. Gotcha. Now all of these times were found by just a player, so these could be off slightly, correct? Like,
and most of them have a random variance to them of 10 seconds.
All right, so with that in mind, let's get into it. So
the golem spawns at 3 seconds, or 3 minutes.
I'm about to say 3 seconds. Dear God, man. No. Golem spawns at 3 minutes. Mercs, which are easy and hard mercs, so your knights and your giants spawn at 40 seconds into the game.
But then they respawn at 4-minute 30, 3-minute 30. So if you get in there immediately, take them out as fast as possible in that first minute, you're going to get them back that much quicker.
Gotcha. Very cool. The Golem apparently is on a 5-minute respawn timer after he is taken out. So that's a pretty good window to not have a Golem to worry about.
But the ones that are really interesting are, of course, the map-specific ones like Dragonshire, which the shrines spawn at 1 minute, 15 seconds. And that is absolute madness to other MOBA players who are used to a lane phase.
Yeah. No, granted, I mean, I feel like at least the pub games of Dragonshire, you still do a 2-1-2 split, like 2 top, 1 mid, 2 bottom. And the lane phase really, I mean, it still feels like the lane phase. You're still in range for XP, and things don't get too wacky. Obviously, yes, I've been in games where that is not the case, where the guys in the mid are just like, I'm coming to help you, top or bottom, and then things get crazy.
Or for some reason, everyone's up top again, and then it just gets into a madhouse. But this is something that's really apparent on Cursed Hollow. First tribute spawns at 3 minutes.
Right. And then the next tribute is on like a kind of a variable. They said it's between like a minute 30, minute 40 after the appearance of the previous tribute. But then after a curse, it'll take 2 minutes and 30 seconds to appear.
Right, and that's all, a little heavy in the time department. Certainly what I'm trying to get into people's heads here is, one, you got 3 minutes on Cursed Hollow. Don't get over-involved in your lane. You're going to have to move in, particularly around when it chooses its variable spawn at about 4 minutes in. And then from there, you're going to have to be ready every 2 minutes after it gets taken until a curse happens, and it's a longer wait. And the same thing happens with Dragonshire. Every time you actually complete a task, there is then a longer cooldown until that task is ready again.
I like that. I mean, you even see that with the Golem. You kill a Golem mercenary, and there's a whole 5 minutes before another one pops up, and I like that. There should be this breath of peace, so to speak, so that you can just
a little bit of cooldown. Yeah, at least enough time for everyone to respawn before the next one.
Well, yeah. Or even if they're not dead, then you can get just some naked team fights where there's no mechanic to worry about, or people can try and push lanes, sans mechanics. You need time to just get mercs, so. I like that. I see why that's in there, and I think it's an elegant design solution. So,
I do think, though, that maybe we could wait a little bit longer on some of these, or early game timers just need to be increased a bit, man. Because you and I had that game, was it yesterday, where the fight lasted for easily 5 minutes over a tribute. And this is people respawning every 15 seconds.
Without a doubt, the longest fight over a tribute I have ever experienced since I got access to this game. It was ridiculous.
It was an awesome brawl. But the problem with that is, of course, the winning team, the team that sweeps in and just destroys, is about to get the tribute. They're all at half health, low mana. And then the other respawning team shows up within time to stop it with full health, full mana.
That, however, was not our experience. We continued to spank the opposing team.
Oh, well, we
respawn after respawn after respawn. I even left at one point to mana up and still got back in time to help kill things. So, yeah, I agree. Those early game cursed, tribute things and the respawn timer gets a little wacky. So I'm anxious to see how they'll address that in the future, if they do anything at all. Maybe they like that, because honestly, it was intense. I got to say, it was very fun to be a part of. Of course, we were winning, so of course I'm going to say it was fun.
Right. Well, and then you have something like Blackheart's Bay, where you've got 50 seconds till a chest appears the first time. So this information is useful in its, actual time. Like, this happens at 3 minutes to people who are currently playing. Those of you who aren't playing yet, just start thinking about when you're picking your hero and what kind of strategy you want to go, that the alarm rings very early on.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're coming from another MOBA, don't expect a very rhythmic laning phase, because you're not going to get it.
And to that point, too, you start with all your abilities open. There is no, well, I've got a stun and nothing else available. Or what'd you buy? Heal items? Oh, oops. Well, we aren't getting any kills in this lane.
Exactly. So, anyways, go check out the full Reddit post, by the way, everyone, if you haven't seen it already. So, let's take some emails, Kyle.
Darkness stopped calling.
Hold on. Darkness just texted me.
Okay, tell him I'm not here.
1 second, I'm texting Darkness back. She's very needy. It's rough. It's rough. It's a rough.
Emotional, just throwing me for a loop.
Yep. Yeah. Don't
Keep
even
me in the dark.
You can send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Our first email today comes to us from listener Peasant Dave. And Peasant Dave writes, from his thatch roof cottage, I might add, Dear Garrett and Kyle, I've been listening to your program since the beta of StarCraft 2, and one of the things I have loved the most about our community in that game was the StarCast chat channel. Oh, you're taking me back, man. Heroes of the Storm has a similar functionality in that you can join custom games. Typing /join space channel name will add another group you can talk to in-game. General is first by default, so if you were to join Reddit, then /1 would be General and /2 would be Reddit. A bunch of us in the amove/ITN forums have exchanged battle tags, but the process is far from perfect. So I am looking to you to guide us to the official Into the Nexus channel in Heroes of the Storm. What shall it be? /join amove TV, /join Into the Nexus, etc. What should it be, Kyle?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you're the Gmail wizard here.
The Gmail wizard?
I don't feel qualified to make these sort of important decisions.
I don't see why we can't just make it amove TV.
Yeah, well, that's what we got in Diablo as well.
Yeah, it's the clan in Diablo's amove TV. So if by the way, open to all. I think you have to like ask to join, but every time I get in,
that's all you do. Like,
every time I get
log
in, I just mass accept. I'm like accept. There's no process. You want to join? We'll welcome you. So yeah, let's make it amove TV. So everyone who's in the tech alpha at the moment for Heroes of the Storm, /join space AMOVETV, and we'll be hanging out in there. I'm
excited for this.
I'm Saint. That's my battle tag, and you are Tarask.
Yep.
So those are us. If you see us yapping around in there talking about,
if there's a confusing name full of S's and a Q, that would be me.
That would be Kyle. And if you don't remember what my name is, it's probably the dude complaining about Lily and how terrible of a hero she is.
What a vocal man. I'm excited for clan features here, certainly.
Oh, God, yes. And I hope they don't take as long to get here as StarCraft once.
I feel like Diablo is showing us the light.
It's so great in Diablo. It is so flawlessly implemented. I love it. Spaz Wesson in the chat room is reminding everyone who has a PS4 and is playing Destiny to join the amove TV clan there. Thank you, Spaz Wesson. Yes, do that. We're trying to get some people together to raid. Completely unrelated, but still. Well, not completely. Slightly on topic, but off topic as far as games.
Still gaming.
It is still gaming, damn it, and it's still amove TV. And it's spelled the same way, AMOVE TV, because you can't use dots in clan names. So, there you go. Our second email today comes to us from, I'm going to say, Zelra. That's my...
Ask your doctor about Zelra today.
Exactly. May cause internal bleeding. Zelra writes, Hello, guys. I have a question about the rating for this wonderful game. This is different. My daughter recently saw me playing and was curious about Heroes of the Storm. I have let her play around with her favorite character, Lily. Oh, I feel bad about today now. I'm trying to appeal to her playing with someone better, but she likes cute in practice mode, so she doesn't ruin anyone's game. Okay. Because of potential PvP toxicity, I probably won't let her onto casual or ranked until she's much older, though she's starting to become quite the badass and has managed a few killing blows. I've been showing her how to run with teammates and basic strategy, but she's 5, so she just likes winning and when Lily sees a flower. My question next becomes, what would this rating be by the ESRB for Heroes of the Storm? What are your opinions on it? It doesn't look like all that violent. It doesn't look all that violent to me, and anything that I can play with my daughter is just awesome. In the end, I'll be the judge of what my daughter will play, but this is my first Dota-style game, so I'd like a few opinions. She likes you guys too, and Diablo and Stitches. Hearing a 5-year-old in her deepest voice say, Stitches want to play, is priceless. She made sure I put that in. Dude, if you record your daughter saying that, I will play it on the show. I will want I want that clip. That would be hysterical.
Ken and Stitch's Play now. Like, let's replace that.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Drop material.
Send it in.
Drop the mic.
Anyways, I know you can actually go to the ESRB site and look up non-box copies of games to see if they have ratings. I don't believe there's one for Heroes yet because it's not live. But I would assume this game would get a teen if I were to guesstimate.
Right. It used to be quite a bit more violent when it first came out. I particularly remember the archer, when killed, was split in half, and his upper body tried to pull himself away. Now they all just turn into mud or rocks when they die.
Right. There was a lot of blood. But I don't, and again, like he makes a good, or she, I don't know if this is the mother or the father, mentions that that they'll be the judge of what their child play, which is great. I think that should be your stance. I'm not a parent, by the way, but I feel like if I had a child, that would be my stance. I remember when the Halo came out, I'm like, why the hell is this rated mature? There's no like excessive cussing. The blood looks like rainbows. What is wrong with you people? I would let my 10-year-old play Halo like without a second thought. My dad sat me down and made me watch Aliens at 7. That might actually explain a few things. But whatever the case, there's much
that's a lot like
The
Matrix being rated R. And it's a little shocking because it's not that violent movie, but it's glorifying the violence. And that's why Halo got that rating.
That is a good point. By the way,
you are a murderous badass.
Yeah, I did just look up on the ESRB. It is not up there yet. But in its current form, since it no longer has the absurd gushing blood, I would assume it would earn itself a teen rating. But I don't know. If I was a parent, I'd let my 10-year-old play. Which, by the way, you can turn on mature language filters if you're just concerned about bad words.
Sure, I think it's also the awkwardness of those questions of what's that? Well, what's that symbol mean? Well,
whatever. I mean, when I was a kid, I accepted, oh, well, that's a bad word. Don't say that. And I didn't because I would get grounded for a very long time if I did.
Yeah, see, granted, these memories have been placed in my head because I was too young to remember, but I was the kind of child that saw the words on the bathroom wall and then proudly announced my new knowledge at a Christmas party.
Oh, wow. So you were that kid.
Yeah, they walked in and called my mother a jerk and then stood there proudly, my mouth grinning, waiting for the response from my newfound powers.
Oh, so much of the questions I've had about you as a person have just been answered.
Curiosity incarnate. You can also change it so in the social menu of the game, you can turn off all messages not from friends. So eventually when you can make her own account that you just log her into to play, you can just have everything turned off. Or, if I'm not sure if that means, messages from friends outside the game or also in the game, in which case the second the game starts, you can just click, silence everybody.
Yeah. And even some games now, I mean, not that you would need it for Heroes, but a lot of games have like the reduced violence feature. I know StarCraft has it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of options, I feel like, for parents nowadays who are concerned about, violence in their video games.
It's certainly teen. And then what was it? Online experience is not rated.
Oh, well, yeah, everything has that now because everything's online and nothing's, especially, oh my God, games with voice chat.
Can you imagine them having to rate that? Like, what? What
rated R for racist.
Rated H for absolute hell. Nobody wants to play with these people.
7 for the 7th layer.
And that listing, like, mild sexual content. Like, absolute racism.
Yeah, I'm...
Overwhelming bigotry. OB.
My parents just missed that. They dodged that bullet by, like, 2 years.
Oh, the online play?
Yeah. And, I mean, I was playing Counter-Strike and stuff, but I didn't have, like, a voice chat option at the time. Plus, I was on 56K, so if I did anything else other than Counter-Strike, I was just it was unplayable. But Spaz in the chat room says, rated N for nope.
May contain spiders.
That's wonderful. But yeah, it's I like this. This is very, very out of the norm of the questions we get. It's not strategy based or anything. It's like concerned parent. I think that's interesting. I think that's awesome. You let your 5-year-old play Heroes of the Storm. That's badass. And I'm sorry that I just said ass and shit multiple times on today's episode.
Oh, no. What?
It's already happened, man. It's already happened.
Too late.
Anywho, thanks for your email, man. And again, if anyone wants to send us emails, the email to do so is itncast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about these changes. If you're in there playing, if you're not in here, let us know what you're excited about, or also what you think about these changes from today's episode. Love to hear from you guys. That'll do it for this week's episode. As always, want to thank those of you who are backing us on Patreon. Our Patreon page is patreon.com/ITN for Into the Nexus. This week I wanted to thank Saif A, Josh S, and Alexander P. Thank you very much for backing us over there. And we're just about at the end of our current patrons. So get on out there.
Awesome.
No new iTunes reviews this week, but if you are an iTunes listener and you haven't left us a review, I'd really appreciate it if you did. iTunes is a fickle beast, and apparently reviews are one of the many things that are counted in the ratings. So if you want to help us get new listeners, leave us a review. We'd appreciate it. As always, the show is produced by amove.tv and also our Patreon producer, Declan H. Thank you very much, Declan. You can see more about this and all of the amove shows at amove.tv. The email is itncast@gmail.com. The forum's over at forum.amove.tv. Our live show records every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv. You can also grab the mobile stream on any of your mobile devices over at alphageekradio.com. We're on Twitter at ITNcast. And Brian Griffith made the intro music for our show here, which I'm such a big fan of. So go check him out over at briangriffithmusic.com. Kyle, where can folks find you?
Well, you can find me over at kyleferguson.com. I do voiceovers for videos, training videos, plays, whatever you got going on. If you need a voice for it, I could be your man. Also, hit me up on Twitter at Kyle Ferguson. And then check out A-Move Radio, which is moving to Fridays next week. And then we'll be going bi-weekly from there. But I'm excited for next week's show because we're going to be doing some real podcasty kind of personal talk on there since Ben is out of town. And the Star Wars movie talks can continue the next week. By the way, I caught up on Rebels, but I accidentally watched the second episode first. I was mad confused.
Wait. Second episode hasn't even come out yet. Has it?
Yeah, it has. It's up.
What? Are normal episodes 30 minutes instead of an hour?
Yeah.
Aww.
I know.
That's lame. The core is killing me, man. Half an hour
You gotta
shows.
wait.
What is this? I'm sorry. If you have an animated show that actually has a drama, like an overarching story that's actually worth caring about, please give me 45 minutes to an hour, please. I can't do this 30-minute stuff. It's driving me nuts.
It's our HBO woes, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've gotten us spoiled.
Anyways, if you don't listen to A-Move Radio, check it out. It's available everywhere, iTunes, Stitcher. It's on amove.tv. And if you want to send us some questions, because as you said, Kyle, next Friday we're going to be doing a real inside baseball talk about how we podcast and whatnot. If you want to send us some questions, the email to send that to is amovetv@gmail.com. So send them there. I can be found at Garrett Art on Twitter. My website is nomoonart.com, where you can find my graphic design work and a forum to contact me if you need a freelance graphic designer. And go listen to The Angry Chicken, a Hearthstone podcast, available wherever you're hearing this. Check out our sponsors, DogHouseSystems.com and TweakedAudio.com. The code to use is ITN. You get your double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, as well as 30% off and free shipping off of your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds from TweakedAudio.com. We thank them for their support. We thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week for episode 25 of In the Nexus. Good luck. Have fun.
Take care.
Bye, chat room.